speaker was Aizhan, and I'm going to invite to the stage the youngest and active member of Toastmasters. Can you guess?
Alua?
Yes, Alua. Alua. Thank you. I don't need it, yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and friends. It was such a long time since my last speech. Now I want to start by looking for Aizhan. Aizhan, thank you for your speech. I noticed that last time you were with your slides, and it is my first time hearing you without your slides. And I think that you already made a great deal of change. Raise your hand if you felt great during Aizhan's speech. Yeah, now you can raise it. Yeah, thank you. Aizhan is one of the experienced speakers in our community who appears confident with the audience. She was looking confident, telling all her thoughts without mixing anything. She was just, yeah, as if she was comfortable and talking with her friends, right? So I noticed that you were like looking at everyone's eyes and talking easily, but you might want to work on your vocal variety. For example, when you ask, have you ever, not really like this, have you ever heard of theory of array? I was like, okay, it is a question. But if you did it like, have you ever heard a theory about array, for example? I didn't hear of it, but I didn't think of it as a question at first. So I think it is a great thing that you could work on, and the results you may get with the great structure you have, and this vocal variety will surprise you, I'm sure of it. And then, because we didn't have your slides and papers, I decided to do the same. And I think it was a mistake, but anyway. And maybe, okay, anyway. And I also noticed that you were standing in one place. I saw your gestures were perfect. You were like showing, I had these 3 mentors, and then you were talking. But if you moved and said like point 1, I had this one mentor who was like this, and go over here and said, I would another mentor who helped me with something and something. And then you went here and said, and my latest, not really latest, but the late one, who is still here, it would be like more easy to understand, I guess. And it will also add some, I don't know, greatness to your already great speeches. So, okay, to challenge yourself, as I said, you might want to move on the stage, or just maybe go, people ask like, have you ever had this one mentor, and ask like this. Maybe then you will be able to contact with the audience, but your communication with the audience was perfect. That's why I want to just say thank you for your well-structured speeches. Keep up with your great gestures and great topics, as always. Oh, last thing to mention, I forgot. Oh yeah, anyway, so I think your purpose of the project was to talk about the time when you were a protege, not about your proteges, right? Like mentees. Most of the time you were talking about your mentors, so maybe you could talk about yourself as a vulnerable person who appeared to be weak and really inexperienced before your mentors, right? So yeah, looking forward to your next speeches. Thank you for your great speech again.
Thank you, Alua. And the next, the speaker was Sandugash, and I'm going to invite to the stage her evaluator, and I want to say that her evaluator is the person who is the father of Toastmasters. Can you
Tom?
Tom, yes. Let's move on.
Thank you, my daughter. And I get to evaluate my other daughter, Sandugash, today. So first of all, as we start off, we take a look at this beautiful Rubik's Cube that she used. What I like when people give us speeches, when they start with something to get our attention, and then they use it again at the end, right? She used it both the beginning and the end. You talked about emotional intelligence, you talked about trauma you had, but probably there's some people like me in this room, as they saw Rubik's Cube, it took them back to their own trauma, their frustration. I could never solve it. The only way I solved it was to break it apart and put it back together. And I wanted to hit somebody who could solve it themselves. So things that Sandugash did really well is she told a story which was vulnerable and personable, right? She talked about a time that she yelled at her younger sister. It portrayed her in a bad light. And so when we talk about something that we didn't do well, mistakes that we made, it actually opens up the audience to us and different people because we become a safer person. Because she's trusted us with something that didn't go well in her life. Now it causes us to be like, wow, she's reaching out to us. She's making an emotional connection with us. You also had good eye contact. I know she looked around the room. You looked at different people. You did it. She had great gestures, right? Some of the different gestures she had was the fist. She talked about hugging. She came up and she touched my son. I was really hoping you were going to ask for a volunteer, maybe Meg John, and hit him when he wanted to hit someone. Because he's very good at defense, I know. He would protect himself. And so that's different things that you did well. So in her speech, she was supposed to tell a story, which she did. I at first was expecting one big long story. But she didn't do that because there's two ways to do it. She can use one story within a speech to make a point and have it be a part of a larger speech. So not only did she give a heart-wrenching story that drew us in, but then she had helpful advice talking about the importance of emotional intelligence, connecting with people, doing different things. And so she talked about how it helped her. And I loved at the end when she said, right now, right in front of you, I am still a little 8-year-old girl. So what I want you to do right now, maybe it's not Rubik's Cube, but everyone close your eyes for a moment and picture something difficult, hard that you experienced as a child. And then just think about what she shared and her journey that she took in growing gives you hope of overcoming that. You can open your eyes now. And so, Sandugash, you did great with so many things. One of the things you could have done is something like I did, just engaging the audience. Cut out a little content so you could put in a little more opportunity to connect with the audience. But otherwise, amazing job. I'm proud of you, my daughter.
And now, next speaker was Aituar, third speaker, and his evaluator is also the activist member of Toastmasters and the responsible person, and who is in the leadership team. And he was responsible to equipment, to QR code. Who is it?
Amir.
Yes, let's welcome Amir.
Okay. Thank you for, I'm grateful for this day that I'm evaluate Aituar. Aituar, I really inspire you. You teach us, yes, you teach us that we will be more grateful for to anything, maybe little thing, for big thing. And I noticed it maybe all years how to you're grateful to your day. Like. And because of you, some members have started to follow your challenge, like Alua, Rakia, and Asanari. Where are you, guys? Oh. Yes, and Asanari. And it was one of the best speech when I heard, really. You teach us that we want to be really grateful for. And you showed best demonstrate in using tone, volume, and spoke clarity. I'm really grateful for this day. Your spoken languages was easily, tone speed excellent, and then maybe I believe that you can improve your body languages. You can use this touch better using all stage, because this touch yours during the speech time. Maybe others was excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir, for your evaluation. And the third speaker was introduced as the handsome speaker, yes? And Nurbolat. And I'm going to invite his evaluator, and I want to say, like, the beautiful evaluator. Okay, it's me. Just and his project was improving his vocal variety and gestures. And the purpose of the project and practice his gestures and the vocal variety and create well-structured speech. And I want to say that you excelled at these purposes, and I want to highlight your jokes. And you choose the type of humorous speech, and I think everyone laughed at your jokes. If yes, please raise your hands. And the majority of the audience voted yes, and can prove me. And also I want to say that your speech was well structured. And gestures, yes, you use gestures, your hands, you use the stage, this part, and the middle, also the right part. But there is something that you can improve. The first thing, and while you were speaking, you sometimes looked down like and walked like this, and using your gestures, looking at ceiling. And I can say that you can improve it just while looking. How can you keep your eye contact? Just I can recommend you point three people from the audience, from the right side, from the middle, and from the left side, and look at them one by one. Like this, you may keep the eye contact with your audience. Also, next thing, crossing your hands while you are speaking. Sometimes you did like this. It means you are a closed person, and you should be always open. You can use freely your hands like this, or sometimes like this, or if you want to show some thinking, like gestures. Also, you may challenge yourself using the stage properly. You may stand here and deliver your speech and stop, and also walk like this and stop. Sometimes talk with this part of the audience and not like moving over without avoiding over moving. And also, you can act and add emotions while speaking from the side of your wife or other person, like acting. You just said, dear my husband, instead of, you may say like, oh, dear my husband, like I love you, or I'm grateful to have you, like this. That's all. Thank you for this kind of amazing speech. Let me welcome the next our speech evaluator, and I want to associate this evaluator with the word kindness, always smiling, as a son. And we today introduce our father of Toastmasters, and I want to invite the mother of Almaty Toastmasters Club. Who is it?
Michelle.
Yeah.
Miras, where are you? Ah, there you are. Great. Miras, thank you for that speech. I really, really enjoyed it. This is Miras's first speech after his icebreaker. The purpose of his speech, well, no, the objective of his speech was to write a speech with purpose. His purpose, right, was to talk about procrastination and to help us. And I thought you did a great job. As we've heard earlier at different meetings, there's content and delivery. And I'm really proud of you. You did both well. What I liked was your intro. He made us laugh because he said, oh, I was going to do this speech, but I kept putting it off. I was procrastinating. And you also asked a question. And those are great elements of an introduction. I really liked your last slide. The conclusion was sharp. 2 points. Get the distraction. Get rid of the distractions and focus on the process. Like, I'm going to remember that when I think about procrastination and how I want to grow in that area too. I liked your structure because you had, the problem, you had personal stories about your own life. And then you also had things to do, right? This is why it happens. This is what you can do if it does happen. These are things to help grow in this area. So I would say overall, I think you did a great job on your speech. There's always ways to improve, right? And the one thing I would just say today that I would love to see, I'd love to see you smile more up here. You're a little, really kind of serious, but even though I think you smiled when people laughed, but as you are leading, you're standing here, I'd like to see you smile, a little more energy from up front as you engage the audience. But overall, I just really liked your speech, and I look forward to more. I think you have a lot going as you did such a great job on your first one. Thanks. Oh, my shaking. Oh.